So after understanding the shapes of the tables, we go on to the second part of this particular episode, that is the seating positions and how they might affect your impact of your interactions with others. If you look at the seating positions, you have three important seating positions that I would like to dwell upon. The first type of seating position is sitting opposite to somebody. Remember one thing, you are sitting opposite to somebody, you are usually either in competition with them, or you are having authority over the other person, or the other person wields authority over you in some form or the other. As I already mentioned, in case of an interview, or when you are sitting across your boss, it is actually sitting across, that is opposite to somebody. In a school, usually the principal sits on the one side, and your parents and you, when you go to meet the principal, sit on the other side. That shows that the person here has got some authority which he or she would wield in terms of whatever is the situation. So rectangular tables always come with the show of authority and leadership. Even on a rectangular table, you can always manage your seating positions, and I'll discuss it when we are talking about the strategies for you to overcome. So while sitting on a rectangular table, make sure if you can help it, to sit at least diagonally opposite to the person. But if you are the only person who is called into the room, then you cannot avoid it and you will have to take it. So competitors and your bosses or people with power, authority usually sit across you on a rectangular table. However, in personal circumstances, a rectangular table is also used for family get-togethers or team meetups, and in this case there are several cultural connotations to it. The Western world usually talks about, even the Eastern world to that particular matter, talks about the head of the table part of it. The head of the table is that part of a rectangular table where the shorter side is considered to be, one side is considered to be the head of the table, and the opposite side to the head of the table is called as the seat of honor. If you look at the Western aspects or Western culture, they usually consider the head of the table to be that person who is having the ultimate authority. For example, on a personal note, if you are having a family dinner and it's a patriarchal family, then the grandfather or the father sits at the head of the table position, while the mother or the grandmother sits exactly opposite to the head of the table, which is called as the seat of honor. Or sometimes it could be a very close elderly friend or somebody who have called for that particular purpose, or a family, a distant family, or a cousin who is much older than the head of the family, who is given the opposite seating. Usually in the Eastern culture, the ladies are made to sit on towards the side which is farthest from the door. You have to understand this. And the head of the table and the head of honor or the seat of honor are usually on the opposite sides, and they are the most powerful positions on a particular rectangular table. Otherwise, it is basically one on the other side, people facing each other in the opposite directions. If we move on to the round tables, there are three different seating positions even on a round table. The person sitting exactly opposite to you would be your competitor or your challenger, or that person who is either above you or below you, or who is trying to strike a deal with you on equal basis and will be a challenger or an aggressor against you. And this is how it is considered. And if you are going somewhere with your friends, then you would want them to sit besides you. So on a round table, people who are sitting onto the right side and to your left side are considered to be your collaborators. This goes even for your official meetups. So when you make places and when you are in charge for making places or designing the seating positions for your team, you better take this into consideration, that all the collaborators sit towards your side, either the right side or the left side. There is also one more seating position on a round table which is diagonally opposite to you. This position is considered to be a position of power and authority, but not as much as that position which is exactly opposite to you. These are active participants, collaborators, or even sometimes challengers, but these people are not at loggerheads to you, or they are having equal power to you. Next, let us consider the U-shaped table and the seating positions on a U-shaped table. Usually, U-shaped tables have two open ends, and then people sitting at the open ends, the seating positions that are there towards open ends are called as the positions for the active participant. So, if you are a young member of the team and you want to contribute more, you better sit towards the open ends of the U-shaped table. If you are a seasoned department head or seasoned person who has got put in some experience with the department and have got some idea about what you are talking about, then you should talk or sit and talk towards both the folks of the U-shaped table. And if you happen to be the team lead, the project head, or department head, you would be sitting on the curved part of the U-shaped table. The idea of sitting on a U-shaped table is to let your ideas freely flow so that everybody looks at everybody and they are on a collaborative mode. However, even on a U-shaped table, when you are the same dynamics apply, that when you are sitting opposite to each other, when two teams are actually vying for something and sitting across on a U-shaped table, then they are in the position of aggression, confrontation, competition. It could be a friendly competition also. I'm not talking in terms of whether it is toxic or something like that. Please don't mistake me. But the point is, when you are face to face, you are on a confrontational mode, competitive mode, and you are bound to be aggressive. But the same thing doesn't apply when you are sitting besides each other. So make sure that your team members are sitting besides you on either sides on a U-shaped table, or at least if you cannot help it, they are sitting diagonally opposite to you rather than exactly stark opposite to you. So much for the seating positions on different shaped tables. Now we move on to the third aspect of how your seating arrangements can be made to impact your meetings and make them meaningful and victorious. This is called as a role that you are going to play, or the context in which you are actually handling that particular interaction or meeting. There are three major roles that are there, and maybe one or two other roles that we can explore here in this episode. The first major role is that of a leader or the head. Basically, when you are a leader and you are supposed to convene a meeting, depending upon the situation in which you are convening the meeting, you will have to make your seating position. If it is a general team meeting where you are very semi-formal or very casual with your team, then you better sit along with your team so that they are sitting in a round position all around you. If you are actually convening a meeting to very clearly communicate certain rules, regulations, or give instructions, then it better be a rectangular table where you are sitting at the head of the table. And if you do not want others to disrupt you, please do not allow anybody to sit on the seat of honor seat that is exactly opposite to you. The second aspect or role that we consider in this context of seating positions on tables is that of a collaborator. Many of us go to a meeting with people with certain understanding, so that when you give a report, they have to validate your report or support you or compliment your presentation and all that. In that case, you must ensure that they are sitting towards your sides. They have to sit at an angle from you, or at least by your side, so that this gives a lot of comfort to you psychologically also, and it is easier to collaborate and make a presentation, talk for each other, and it all flows harmoniously. Because as I told you, if you sit opposite to each other, it will be a difficult proposition. And the third role that we are going to explore in order to understand the impact of seating positions is the role of an active participants. Active participants are those people who do not have any authority in whatever they are speaking, but they collaborate or they contribute to the talk that is going on, whether it is an official meeting or a personal interaction or get together that you visit. So in that case, always choose open-ended places, like on a U-shaped table you go to the open-ended folks, or you sit besides the people that you want to talk about, so that the role complements the seating positions that you have.